This year is Boom Studios' Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic issue number 34. Beyond the Grid picks up immediately from the last issue with the Power Rangers re-energized after Ari offered the power of the Solarix to the Rangers. It's great seeing them back in their Ranger suits because I know now the Powerless Rangers aspect of this story is pretty much over. That means this plotline will be less of a drag. Cam tries contacting Promethea from the scout ship, but everyone on the bridge has their hands full as Promethea is surrounded by the Praetor's forces. But then Torona detects a trace of energy, and yes, it's coming from the scout ship because it's the Solarix that's emitting that energy. Cam says it might be a piece of the Morphin grid itself. So, well done to you viewers who commented previously thinking that was the case. It's hard for some of the Rangers to comprehend, but in short, some energy from the Morphin grid somehow transformed into something physical, the Solarix. Praetor tells the Rangers to hand over the Solarix, otherwise he'll have everyone's heads. Tanya wants to give the Praetor a chance to end this peacefully. She tells Praetor's forces that their fight is not with them, so if they retreat, no one needs to get hurt. Obviously they refuse, so Tanya's attempt was kind of pointless. I can't really see why Tanya even tried that after hearing everything about the Praetor previously and the attempts to capture Ari. So this means the Rangers will need to go into battle, but the only way to match Praetor's ships is to summon the Zords. In order to do that, Kimberly instructs the Rangers to place their hands on the Solarix and call for the Zords. It's also nice seeing this tough version of Kimberly sympathise with Ari because she was in a near identical situation. She reveals to Ari that when she was made to serve Lord Drakon, she worked alongside Finster 5. He studied the Morphin grid and was obsessed by it, learning that the grid generated tangible energy like the Ranger suits and weapons. So that's what gave Kimberly the idea to call for their Zords, by using the Solarix's energy to summon them. So the Zords appear, but they're different. These probably aren't the actual Zords, but they converted energy into what resemble their Zords. The artwork is rather cool. It's almost like the Zords are see-through, which remind me of the transparent Turbo figures which were released during the original Power Rangers Turbo run. The Praetor seems to be able to mess with the Rangers' minds. He taunts all of them, seeming to know everything about the Rangers. He picks out the darkness in the Rangers and tries to use it against them. Tanya is the first of the Rangers to be consumed by it, and I don't know for certain what happened because of the artwork, but I'm guessing the enemy ships locked their weapons onto Tanya's Zord, but Mike's Zord intercepted the attack, so his Zord was vaporized. Ari appears and Mike is clearly fine. It seems that Ari managed to save Mike from getting vaporized too, and Tanya thanks Ari for it. I have to say at this point, this has been a constant struggle for me since Beyond the Grid began. The artwork and the writing does make it difficult to understand what is happening on some pages. This is where live-action TV beats comics. It depicts things more clearly. Anyway, Tanya and Mike are safe, but the Praetor is still at it. He tries to get inside Heckle's head, but Kimberly tells him to shut Praetor out of it. Cam also tries to help, and says that Heckle can't die yet. He hasn't laughed at one of his jokes. It seems to work as Heckle continues with the mission and even says to Cam that his last sentence was pretty funny. But Praetor's mental onslaught continues and now he's on to Andros. Cam tells Tanya to go to Andros and he seems okay again. The target then shifts from Andros to Kimberly. She tries hard to block out Praetor, but then even she is defeated and the Zord disappears. She apologizes to Grace for failing, but Ari arrives to help Kimberly. This was a nice sight because Kimberly has been helping Ari to feel like she's not alone. Now Ari is returning the favour by helping Kimberly out. Grace then shows up with her Mechazord to get the Rangers out of trouble. The Rangers board the Mechazord and together with the scout ship, they return to Promethea, fleeing the battle. Praetor says there's no need for his army to destroy them, for the Rangers will destroy themselves. Does this mean his mind tricks still have some influence over the Rangers? Back on Promethea, Andros is reunited with Corone. Even though Corone and Ari's initial encounter was frosty, Kuro now understands Ari's background and welcomes her aboard the Promethea. It was nice to see Kuro not bearing a grudge after their first fight. Ari uses the Solarix to restore Prometheus Power, and after doing that, Grace begins to analyse the Solarix. She thinks if the Solarix is a piece of the Morphin grid, they'll need to find the hole in the universe where that piece of the grid fits in. That's the key to get everyone home. And we end this issue with an image of Praetor holding Promethea in his grasp. I said it earlier and I'll say it again. The artwork makes it difficult to understand what is happening. Is that really a hologram of Praetor holding onto Promethea, or is that just symbolic to say the Rangers haven't escaped from him? Also, I'm not going to talk about Blue Centurion and Ninja, because for some reason it's the exact same content as the last issues. No idea why, and I'm not that bothered because I don't really care for that adventure anymore anyway. So Beyond the Grid has been fairly lackluster for me, but this issue seems to be taking us nearer to the end now, and I am enjoying it a bit more as a result. It's good that the Rangers have their powers back, and it was interesting to see the energy Zords appear. The one constant I don't like is of course the artwork. In the first issue of Beyond the Grid it was hard to tell who some of the characters were. Things have improved a bit since, but now it's hard to tell what's happening in some scenes. I've been saying that Beyond the Grid is more sci-fi than Power Rangers. Perhaps it would work better as a live-action series, as opposed to comic book material. It'll never happen, but maybe that's the problem. Beyond the Grid just doesn't work in comic book form.